Welcome back, everyone. Dark Weapon X here, and it's been a while. It's been a while since I actually started putting up videos. But let's go ahead and talk about masteries. Since they did the new update, the masteries, they debuffed the willpower, coagulate, and block proficiency and perfect block. There are no more perfect block teams. There are perfect block champs, but to a point. So they added on 4 new mastery. Now for calculations, it's going to be an offense, of course. For calculations, these masteries are going to be very, very expensive. So if you want these masteries, you're going to have to accumulate a lot of points because it's going to take a fair amount of points if you want to max these masteries out to get ahead and help you in the game. I did go over them before I made the video, this video, and interesting. There's going to be some interesting stuff. So, like Despair. A debuff applied to enemies reduces their healing and regeneration effect by 5% each. I don't know if it's 5% each, healing process or regeneration process. But the debuff, if you get all 3, that's 3 of them. And to start out, it's 2 carbon cores. So, the carbon cores are very expensive, 550 units per core. So, so far, you're going to probably need about 6 of them to go ahead, and if you want to go ahead and max these out. But I would suggest do one, open one, see how you like it, and then open up the next, open up the chain going on, and see how the other ones you like. It goes up to rank 3, and when you get to rank 3, it's the effects on buy is 15%, which is 10% more than just rank 1. I'm gonna go ahead and make a video on these to play with them, work around them. So I have to save up units, of course. I was thinking, the carbon cores were going to be no more anymore because they ain't really going to do anything about, everything else. Because we still have willpower, coagulate, block proficiency still in here, as you can see. They never actually took these masteries out. They just took perfect block out and debuffed willpower. Now we're going to go to the second one, which is pretty interesting. We're going to talk about deep wounds. Reaches up to max rank 3. Okay, bleed your champions. Deflect lasts 0.5 seconds longer. If they have more health points than their target, their bleed instantly strikes down an additional 0.2% max health from enemies. And then get it to rank 3, it'd be 1.5 seconds longer and about 0.6% more health from enemies. I think with this situation, willpower is really low, and actually I've been seeing a lot of effects of like Wolverine, for example. There's no stacks, willpower stacks on it every time I conflict bleed. So just one will be enough. I mean, just to open up a train string to the next mastery point. The next one, unfazed. Unfazed is going from rank 1 to rank 5. Okay, when an enemy invades, your champion has a 17% chance to stack 10%. Or wait, your champion, not enemies, your champions have a 17% chance to stack plus 10% critical damage of their next critical hit and become unstoppable for 1 second. That's very interesting and looks pretty useful, especially like for AW and AQ. It's like when your enemy invades, you have a chance to go ahead and to stack 10% critical damage, and then for your next hit. And then when you get it to rank 5, it's a 55% chance to stack 30% critical damage for their critical hits. Unstoppable, it's useful also. It gives you 1 second. I mean, 1 second you could do a whole lot in 1 second. I mean, I believe I can. You know what I'm saying? So 1 second's good enough. I think I probably would go ahead and invest in, getting this to rank 5 just to get that critical hit. Hit damage. So that would be useful. Really useful. Now for the last one, it's Assassin. Against an enemy below 18% health, your champions gain 20% attack and decrease enemies' defensive ability accuracy by 12%. If enemy starts the fight below 18%, your champion also gains 30% offensive abilities accuracy. Another mastery that is really useful. And I will invest to get this to Mac 5. So the first two I'll probably wind up getting one point each, and then working on these. These are the most expensive ones so far, and then when you get this one to rank 5, you get a 60% attack and decrease enemies' defensive ability accuracy by 20%. I mean, that is awesome, and then you get 30% gain offensive abilities and whatnot when you either get it to rank 5, but that is pretty awesome. So pretty much I would put 1 on the first one and maybe 1 on Wound Blade, and then the other 2 I'll max out to 5. That's going to be a toughly rough amount of units, and not knowing how much units the actual once you get it open, how many units is to place the point in there. So let's calculate. You get 2 carbon cores here, right? You get 2 carbon cores here. So that's already, Oh, hold on. Sorry. 2 carbon cores there. Okay. And not knowing how many carbon cores I'm going to need to be using this, because it doesn't give you any details how much, how many carbon cores you need. I'm roughly about maybe 2 each. And then we're talking about a whole lot of units. I'm talking about like maybe from what I'm calculating. I'm just calculating for what I have like in, let's say, my glass cannon. I think it took 6 total. So it was 6 carbon cores, 6. I know these took 6. That takes 6, of course. Yeah, we're talking about roughly, we got the 5 here, so that's 10, and I believe this was, there's 3 of them, so it's maybe about 26 right there, and about 32 carbon cores. I'm just estimating 32 carbon cores, times 550 units. Just in carbon cores, we're talking about 19,800 units. I mean, that's expensive. I mean, but if you just do 1 and 1, that'd be 24. That would be 24 carbon cores times 550 units will be 13,200 units to get ahead and do the mastery that I probably wind up doing, not knowing if these other ones take more than 2. So that's a mystery. So I'll be doing another video on that once I get enough, loot units to get ahead and get these carbon cores and get these masteries on a roll, and pretty much reset my masteries, of course, and a new way of fulfilling my skill play. Other than that, I mean, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike, thumbs down. Leave your comments down below if anything you come up with. And if you have not subscribed to Dark Weapon X Mobile Gaming, please do so. And I'll see you guys in the next vid. Peace.